I'll leave it live.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Where you at? That's the basement, man.
That's the basement,
Nice up down there.
Yeah, a lot of this was the back in the day. It used to be the dual VCRs down here, where you had to spend like 4 hours clipping tape, and now all of a sudden in 2021 you can just put it on Huddle and get it done for you.
I'm looking because I have a VHS from Rock Valley. So my AD had a VCR. He was moving. He was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this VCR. I said, dude, give it to me, because I still had tapes. So watching Rock Valley versus Trinity Christian JV from 2007. So
Oh, that's funny.
you can imagine what that looked like. So
I could imagine.
So, right.
So how are you? Tell me what's going on. I guess I hopped on these Zoom meetings a few weeks ago because I was pretty bored out of my gore. And I've kind of mentioned this to a few people, but for the last 25 years, I've been in the gym a couple times a week. And now it's no longer. And I've been a little sick with some bronchitis after recovering from COVID. And I started to get online with people, and I wanted to make sure I connected with Mr. Josh Pickens.
Yeah, first of all, it's good to hear that you recovered and healthy now. But I think we all be doing the same thing, man. This year I got quarantine hair, quarantine beard.
I like it.
Yeah, but just trying to stay positive through it all. So, last, I think, ever since last March, I mean, it's been off and on, whether we're playing or whether we're not. And so,
sure.
Just taking it day by day. So
awesome. One of the reasons I get on here, obviously, I add a lot of trainers in here locally, and I try to spread their word. Certainly, you played for me back in the day, but do me a quick favor in regards to people that may not know you.
Yep.
Talk to me about the early days, maybe at Jefferson. You're a starter on 4th in the state team that went downstate with Coach Winters and Coach Casper. Tell me a little bit about that experience and maybe some of the guys you still hang out with or talk to again.
We taking it way back. So, I had a good experience in high school. And at the time, you never really realize, how good of an experience that you're having. You don't know. You think, winning games and winning conference and going to state, you think that's almost normal. You get away from it and step away and recruiting and stuff and realize that doesn't happen. So, like you said, I had a good experience. Actually, my junior year, the team with LC Robinson, Ricky Ellis, and all those guys, we actually won the conference, but we were knocked out in the regional championship. And then the year after, we had the same core with Pat Nelson, Rob Eppinger, myself. But we picked up Brandon Fisher, who put that out the year prior and ended up, like you said, taking 4th in the state. So the fun thing about that, no matter what, how far away we are from one another, how long we go without talking, whenever we do connect, is instant because of what we were able to accomplish together. And, it wasn't always easy back then. I bet Coach Winters could probably speak to that more, a lot of the difficulties he had coaching us knuckleheads. But, being able to bring home a 4th place trophy was fun. So as far as guys we still talk to, we all stay in touch, I think, not regularly, but fairly often through text. I actually just bumped into Brandon Fisher at the mall like last week or around Christmas time. So that was good. We stopped and talked to each other for maybe 40 minutes, and it would have lasted longer, but I was with my dad and he had to go. It's like I said, when you accomplish something like that and kind of create those memories, those bonds last forever. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then out of Jefferson, you ended up coming to play for Rock Valley in one of those years.
Give me 1 second. I just want to put this on. I'm on my phone. I want to make sure it's on Do Not Disturb. All right, we're good.
Yeah, then after Jefferson, you ended up coming to Rock Valley to play for a couple of years and ended up playing for me that sophomore year. And I guess my experience, just to kind of share with people, when I look back at all the players that I coached, Josh Pickens is sure at the top of the list when you come to coachability, work ethic, struggling with a kid, whether it's through wins or through losses. When I say struggle with a kid, that sophomore year when I took over for the program, we didn't win a lot of games. And I think it's a testament to you and your character that, you were still the hardest working kid. There was no hesitation in regards to what we were asking you to do. And I appreciate everything that you've ever done for me. That year told me everything about Josh Pickens. So I had to get you on this Zoom call, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? Let's even back up. Before that year, coming out of high school, coming off that success, and then coming to Rock Valley and playing for Coach Likes. I probably owe him an apology. Like I said, I was never a bad kid. I was always a hard worker and things like that.
Yeah.
But I took for granted how good of a teacher of the game that he was.
Absolutely.
And I didn't realize that until after I got done playing in college. Our offensive philosophy is part right now of what he taught me. He said, one of the first things he said is those that can do will do on the offense. I think he said something like those that can't shan't. And I X'd that part out. But I kept the first part. And my second part is we determine what you can do. And so, just whether he ran a swing offense, he really focused on pivoting and footwork and just kind of fundamental basketball, and just kind of taught me some things at that level, right away that I knew, but he kind of reemphasized them. So shout out to him for sure, because he was an outstanding teacher of the game. And like you said, to your point, that second year, it was a struggle at times. We had some talent there, and then grades came out and some things happened, whatever. But, I think it's just my foundation, the way I was raised. And I don't think anyone in my family would have it any other way but for me to come in and work hard and do what I'm told. And because ultimately we have bigger goals, right? Was to move on, kind of finish my career and kind of excel there. So, I would thank you for putting up with me. But you should thank my parents for instilling those values in me, because, if there was ever any hint of me not continuing to bust my butt, then they would have been having words with me. So yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. And I love that you brought up Coach Likes, because I know he's retired from basketball and he still watches his grandkids grow up and he's part of them. But I don't think people realize even the relationship he had with guys like a Bo Ryan, who taught him the swing offense, or vice versa. Coach Likes surely could have been a high level coach, or at times he had opportunities to turn around and be a high Division I assistant coach, and Coach Likes is outstanding. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
No doubt. And there's multiple guys. Just going back to that Rock Valley experience, it's just multiple guys, yourself, and then it almost came full circle. I think you coached my uncle Mario at Rock Valley as well. And he was really with Gene Houston and Will Gordon. Yep. They were helping out there. And so, I had a lot of people around me and a good support system that, I couldn't slip up even in the midst of tough times. So, yeah.
Yeah. Mario Alexander, I think, is obviously who you're referring to. And Mario was a stud of a kid, was as coachable as they come, and what a great guy. After Rock Valley, you ended up going to Ashford University on a full scholarship. And could you just tell us a little bit more about that experience? What got you there? What kept you there? What allowed you to have success? And then I think you ended up being a grad assistant possibly at Ashford after you graduated.
Right. Got into coaching right after. Every stop, every experience, in my opinion, every experience teaches you something different and prepares you for the next thing. So coming from high school, like you said, we had great success those 2 years on varsity, with some ups and downs, but for the most part, from a wins and losses standpoint, it was great success. You come to Rock Valley and you struggle a little bit. And like you said, you learn how to persevere. You learn how to lose, continue to work hard. And, what we say in our program now is continue to pound the pavement. So getting that opportunity at Ashford was a little bit of a mix of both. We weren't a bad team, but we weren't, we didn't win the league or anything like that. But my decision to go there was pretty much based on your hard work of helping me get my name out there. And then they already had some local kids on the team at the time. Byron Emerson was a freshman on the team the year they were recruiting me. And they came and watched the game at Rock Valley, and they must have liked what they saw, must have played well. So they all, I rode up to Clinton, Iowa. So that was a good experience. That was probably, obviously loved my time at home in Rockford, but going to Iowa and my experience there as a player and as a coach was probably the biggest impact on, my decision to start coaching at the college level. So, After my 2 years there of eligibility, finished up, one-time all conference, got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
After those 2 years finished up, I started coaching right away. So I still had more school to finish up after my senior year. So I came back for that fall semester. So fall of 2009, I was a student assistant at Ashford. And there was a guy who was about 40 minutes down the road from Clinton, Iowa, in Rock Falls, Illinois. His name was Mike Winters. And he was the head coach of Falls. So he gave me a call and, hey, you want to be my assistant? Why not? You know what I mean? Sure. I thought it was a great opportunity. Here's me with no coaching experience at all. I just finished playing. I was about 2 weeks into being a student assistant, and he gave me that opportunity to help him out. I was probably, he won't say this, but I was probably the worst assistant he ever had. Like I had no idea. I thought, I did a good job of coaching in practice, and sometimes I jumped in some drills and played a little bit, but I had no idea about, the scouting portion and things like that. But I was still an undergrad at the same time, so I was driving back and forth. So that was a great experience. So 2 years at Ashford as a player, student assistant for about a week, and then in 2009, 2010. Helped Coach Winters over at Rock Falls. We were okay that year. I think we got to the regional. We won a regional. We won the regional that year, and then we lost in the sectional semi or sectional final. I can't remember, but we lost to Marcus Posley in Winnebago that in 2010. So I can keep going there. After that, after the 2009 season, Coach Winters stepped down. And that experience, although I was grateful for it, I had so much fun, learned a ton. That experience showed me that I really wanted to coach college basketball. You want to be able to recruit, you want to be able to kind of pick your own players and things like that. And I picked Coach Winters' brain a ton on that, and he kind of gave me really, really great guidance on it. And from that point, I decided to become a graduate assistant over at Ashford. So 2010, 2011 was my first year assistant coach.
So when you were the grad assistant at Ashford, was that under the same coach that you did your undergrad with?
Actually, no. So in the 2009, 2010 season, the 2 weeks I spent as a student assistant was under Andy Eberhardt.
That's right.
Stepped down the following year and became assistant athletic director. And then they hired a guy who's probably one of my best friends right now. His name's Oliver Drake. And so when he came in as new head coach, we met. And once again, he gave me an opportunity to be his grad assistant in 2010, 2011. I was grad assistant for 1 year. And then the full-time assistant at that time ended up stepping down. So I was elevated. So from 2011 to 2015, we were at Ashford together and had a lot of success, won a lot of games, and had a lot of fun. Three national tournaments in that time there, one conference championship, and really had some things rolling. So, yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned Oliver Drake. I don't know that name, but you said you were pretty close to him. Does he still coach, or you still stay in contact with him?
Yeah, let's back up just a little bit. Coach Winters, I was my high school coach, and then I worked for him at Rock Falls. He and I still, we text fairly often. We talk about a couple times a month, and so he's still in my life and still a good resource for me. Anytime, he probably gets tired of me. Anytime I need help with something or need some guidance, he's there. So yeah, Oliver Drake, he's originally from Wisconsin. We talk 2-3 times a week, probably. Right now at Midland University in Nebraska, and NAI school there. And so, we just developed a bond, developed a relationship, working together for that long. And like I said, just going through some ups and downs and having fun together. So we're still close.
Awesome. So tell me about what takes you then over to Lawrence Tech up in Michigan. How'd you transition to there? How'd you end up finding that position? And that was your first head coaching position, correct?
Yep. So after 2015, we actually left Ashford University together. Coach Drake got a job out in Fremont, Nebraska, and NAI University. I went over with him, and we had success there too. We made in the 2 years I was there, 2 seasons I was there, we made one national tournament. And it was just time. 7 years as an assistant, 8 if you count the year with Coach Winters.
Sure.
I didn't necessarily love the state of Nebraska, no offense to anyone. So I knew it was time, and I really started applying heavy. I thought I had learned all I could learn as an assistant, and really wanted to get out there and search. And so, like I told you, every experience, every stop either teaches you something or benefits you some way. The Lawrence Tech job, I had never even visited Michigan before. And the Lawrence Tech job came open. I received 2 calls. One was from a former student at Ashford University who was a graduate assistant in the recreation department at Lawrence Tech. He said, "Hey, we just, our basketball coach just stepped down. We're looking for a new coach." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll apply, whatever." Then our golf coach, our former golf coach at Ashford, was the golf coach at Lawrence Tech as well.
Okay.
So he gave me a call and was like, "Hey, no, you really need to apply for the job. I think you'll have a chance." So, it's all about who you know sometimes, right? And so
Yeah.
I think those connections got my resume to the top of the pile. And obviously I did the rest of the work with the interview and things like that. So, so next thing you know, summer of 2017, I was moving to Southfield, Michigan, right outside Detroit, heading to Lawrence Tech University to be a head basketball coach. So as excited as I was, I knew I had a big job on my hands. The program was relatively new. I think they restarted athletics in 2010 or 2011. Hadn't won more than 5 games in their existence. So, we had to basically build it from the ground up, and we're in the midst of that now.
Awesome. So, in regards to Lawrence Tech, tell me a little bit about the school. I know you and I have talked over the last few years just about some Rockford kids, and ultimately, there hasn't been any Rockford kids that have landed at Lawrence Tech. I talked to you about one of them today, but that I thought would be a great fit. But talk to me a little bit about Lawrence Tech. It's a pretty high academic school. It's a pretty solid school. Where is it located in Michigan? You said it was near Detroit.
Yeah, right outside Detroit,
Okay.
Southfield, Michigan. I think I think we're in the middle of everything. We can get to Lansing, Michigan, in about an hour 30. Ann Arbor is about 45 minutes. Downtown
Sure.
Detroit's like 20 minutes. So we're right in the center of everything. Major metro area. It's high end academic. I say all the time, it's high end, but it's not Harvard, right?
Sure.
And you'll have to come in and work hard as a student. You'll have a chance. Mostly known for engineering. One of the top schools in the Midwest.
Yep.
I mean, one of the architectural schools in the Midwest as well. But most of our guys are business majors, and our business programs are really growing too. So, as far as academics goes, I think this is always a good thing. 90% of the kids on our team are smarter than I am. So that's
Yeah.
really that's really good. They get great degrees, they get great jobs and internships coming out of here. So they'll be set up once they leave here from an academic standpoint for sure.
Yeah, that seems to happen to me all the time. Any room I walk in.
That ain't hard though.
What's that?
So that ain't hard.
No, it sure isn't, Josh. I'll tell you what. Tell me about, I've followed you, but tell me about like the kids that you have this year, what you look forward to, the opportunities to play or not play with COVID and everything going on. It sounded like from when I last talked to you that you had something good going on going into this year.
Yeah, so it's taking over in 2017, taking over a 4-win program. We took our lumps the first year, and then we turned around in 2017. I'm sorry, 2018, 2019, and set a ton of school records. Now the bar was pretty low, but we call it our history, right? It's part of our growth, and if a 3-game win streak is school history, then we're gonna celebrate it, right? And then next time, break it and extend it to 4. So after that, we've won back-to-back. We have back-to-back double-digit win seasons. We try not to judge our progress on the result because we know ultimately we don't control that, right? We control how hard we work. We control what type of people we are, what type of students we are, and how hard we work on our game. We don't always control the result, but it's a good measuring stick to kind of see where you at compared to where you've been. So this year, coming into it, we return our top 6. Our 2 best players are arguably sophomores. We have a ton of juniors and two freshmen who are playing for us right now, who will be pretty good down the road too. So we were pretty excited about this team, and as everyone is, and got off to a 2-1 start. Played well in two of the games, not so well in one, and then was shut down due to COVID. So out here in Michigan, we are under more strict guidelines than most states as far as small college football goes. So we were fortunate enough to get blessed to get 3 games in. So now we're on pause. Hope to restart our next scheduled game at January 27th. Our kids will be back on campus this Sunday. So we hope to get started and get going again, but a lot of hurdles to jump through. I think the biggest thing, when we came in, and this is the buzzword and the cliches, is culture and establishing the culture and doing this, that. I see our values really coming to a head with all this adversity going on, because our guys are handling it so well. It's just, they're like, all right, whatever. We're grateful for what we got. Let's work. All right. Can we do this? No. Can we do that? All right, let's go. And so that's rewarding for you as a coach, because you can see kind of the message is getting through and some things are paying off. So, although we're in a tough spot, the guys are handling it well. They're still working hard, and we're just ready to get back to work.
So every day I drop off my kids at school, I give them one assignment, and I tell them that they have one job. And their job is to make somebody else's life better. Most recently in the last year, I've used that in all my huddles. I'll huddle kids up, and they'll tell each other what they've done really well. And that's something that I've learned over the years. And then I always make sure that their job and their assignment is to make somebody else's life better through basketball. Why do you coach?
Oh, a great question. I'll give you the whole 360. I think before, when I was in high school and when I got to college, I think, the noun of coaching, being a coach, the noun of coach was why I wanted to do it. You wanted to wear a suit. You wanted to be on TV, call to play. You know what I mean? You wanted to look the part. Getting into it, and this is why I reference Coach Likes and Coach Wayne, and actually getting to start teaching the game, working with kids, and then seeing kids get better, and then seeing them get better and accomplish a goal that they didn't think they can accomplish. All right, now let's take this off the floor, right? Now you're helping them out in the classroom, and now you challenge them, you're hard on them, and you see them bump that C up to a B+ or an A. And so I think it's all about getting someone to reach their ceiling and ultimately surpass their ceiling in life. And that's our philosophy, and our mission is to grow people and build champions. And we talk championships, not banners, not trophies, but what is your ceiling, and did you reach that, and can we get you to surpass that? So to sum it up, basically the most rewarding part of coaching is seeing others accomplish their goals, being able to push them and help them. And even if it's just motivate them a little bit and hold them a little bit more accountable so they can reach heights that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do themselves, that's the most rewarding part of it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. How often do you visit Rockford for people that want to catch up with you or see? It sounded like you were just recently in.
Yeah.
Is it once a year, or do you come back a couple times a year, or what?
Typically twice a year. Is make the loop during AAU. I think I actually saw you in Chicago one year. I used to do Milwaukee, Chicago.
Yeah, you text me. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, right in the middle of coaching the game too, right?
See, I wasn't spitting on kids, and I wasn't hollering.
You were yelling, nah, you were pretty. But no, I used to make that loop from Wisconsin to Chicago, and then I come home for a couple of days, and then I might do it again right in August, right before school starts, and then right around the holidays. So 2 to 3 times a year. With COVID going on, my first time, it had been a year. This past Christmas, I hadn't been there in a year, so that was my first time getting there. Hopefully, we're over this pretty soon, and I can get there more often. But our goal now is I think we've done a good enough job of establishing some things here at Lawrence Tech and kind of establishing a good groundswell, a good recruiting base. So now, and when you and I were talking about some state line kids and some Rockford kids, and now I think we can start venturing out a little bit more now. When you take over something, you want to establish the backyard first. And I think we're able to do that We've been able to do that. Hopefully we can sustain it, but definitely want to get involved with some area kids and give them more opportunities, because I know how it is. Sometimes, as many schools as are out there, sometimes things can become limited, and getting away from home is probably the best for a lot of kids too.
Tell me about the prototypical kid that just makes sense at Lawrence Tech or to come and play for Josh Pickens.
Yeah, we'll start with the student first. Like I said, it's not Harvard, but you gotta have an interest in academics. We if you got a 2.4, 2.5 GPA, something like that, yeah, we'll take a chance. But if you're not self-driven, and if you've got, missing class and things like that, we usually don't. So from an academic standpoint, if you're solid and driven, we'll take a chance there. From a basketball standpoint, man, if you had asked me this 5-6 years ago, this answer would be so different. Obviously, character's number one, and I know a lot of people say that, but I had some teammates. I've coached some guys who were just not fun to be around. And you said, you asked the question, how can you make someone better? Well, you need to have guys like that around who are energy givers and not energy takers. So character's number one. You want them to be tough, but you don't know if they're tough enough till they really get there. And then I would say the third thing is, it used to be you got to be super athletic, but now can you dribble, pass, and shoot? If you're a perimeter guy, if you're a post player, do you have a motor? So, that's kind of a broad answer, but I know I'm talking to a coach and a good one at that. So when I say dribble, pass, shoot, I know you probably only think of a handful of guys who can do that at a really high level. But you ton of guys who, if they refine their skill set and understood who they were as players, could be really good.
If you were to snag one or two guys from the NCAA happening right now, who would you pick up and place at Lawrence Tech?
Man, you know what? Oh, gosh. See, when you say Lawrence Tech, and I'm thinking small college, I'm thinking the way we want to play, which is a ton of ball movement. We want to space the floor. You got to take Luka Garza. you got to take him. We'll figure something out on ball screen coverage with him. And I don't know how much you watch Richmond University, but
I haven't watched them yet.
Okay, I won't go there then. They got a little guard, Jacob Gilliard, that I like. But you and I both are Bello from Illinois as well. So we'll take him at the point guard. So we got 4 years of him. And then we'll take Garzilla at the 5. And so we can just make up the rest of them.
Just fill in the spots, right?
Still win a national championship. Me, yourself, and whoever else can play the other 3 spots. So
sure. That's outstanding. So what, I told you at the beginning, one of the reasons I did this, it was as a local program. People would always ask me, hey, who should I go train with? And I'd give them a laundry list of guys. And I've started to do a lot of Zooms with those individuals. And now I'm hitting up coaches, whether I've coached with them or I've players that I've coached that are now obviously going on and doing big things like you are. But I guess I need to put this out there because I don't think you always boast about yourself like you probably should, because you're just a humble kid. But I think people need to know that Josh Pickens is one of the best kids around. And in regards to culture and character, you're the kid that I want my son to come play for. So I look forward to watching you, and hopefully you have a ton of success. And I appreciate you joining me, buddy.
Appreciate that. Before we get off, we need to probably just throw something in about these couple guys, because as you sit there talking about trainers and guys and invested in kids, when you made me, or I'm sorry, not made me, you had me go through my whole timeline and just thinking back at all these stops and the people invested in me. Gene Houston didn't have to let me come train with him for free when other people were paying, right? Yep. Will Gordon didn't have to spend time with me before and after practice. Coach Winters didn't have to bring me as an assistant. Coach Winters didn't have to invest in me when I was a player, and he doesn't have to answer my text messages now. Even going back even further than that, Doc Cornell, who's actually out here right now, didn't have to cuss me out when I was 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. It's still that toughness in me. So all the people who invested in me in the city of Rockford and spent time with me and helped me develop, I deserve shout them out and really, pump them up. Cause, obviously, I'm doing what I'm doing and trying to build the program and things like that. But, none of us are where we are in any position if it aren't for those people. So shout out to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I got one last thing. I'm glad you brought those names up because obviously they've been important to me as well. And going through a laundry list of different names isn't necessarily my MO. I'm more of an off the cuff type of guy.
For sure.
But certainly if a kid wants to come play basketball for Josh Pickens, what's the best way to contact you? Is it a form on your internet? Is it an email address? I can certainly put it in here in the YouTube video. But hopefully there's a couple kids out there and it's like, hey, I'm an NAIA kid. I want to be part of a good culture. I want to be part of a good program, and I want to be around a great coach. How do they contact you?
Yeah, definitely. We have a recruit form. I think that every program has online, but I'll be honest, the best way is probably by email.
Okay.
And with the recommendation. So, hey, Coach Warner told me to reach out to you. My email is jpickens@ltu.edu. The only social media that I actually use is Twitter. Well,
Okay.
use and I'm on it. I look at it. I'm not on Facebook or anything like that, but I do use Twitter. I think that's just at Josh Pickens. So that's the way to do it. We got our eyes and ears out. Like I do a pretty good job of knowing who's who in the Rockford area.
Sure.
It's just trying to get this area established first. But now, like I said, I think we're ready to venture out and reach out to that state line area. So you can help me out, help plug us with a kid and plug a kid with us. So you're to connect here.
Absolutely. And as you know, you can always hit me up if you need anything. And I appreciate your time, buddy.
No problem. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
All right. See you.
Bye.
You done recording now?